Smart 24, driving business.
Hello and welcome to Business Edition, an edition where we give you the weekly roundup of what has transpired throughout the week. My name is Masika Tsime. Sit back and relax. We have more in store for you. Welcome. This is Business Edition with me, Masika Tsime. Now starting off with the dairy industry. And now the Dairy Development Authority and the Ministry of Agriculture donated equipment worth 20 million shillings to a farmers cooperative. Now, the Minister of Agriculture, Frank Tumwebaze, urged those farmers to use the equipment intensively for quality milk production and for quality market standards. We have more.
So it's my pleasure to hand over the machine to Madam Dr. Joel former staff of my who is now dairy farmer. Narrow, yes.
Dairy equipment worth 200 million shillings has been handed out by the Dairy Development Authority to sector farmers as the industry strives to meet market standards and installed capacity production. However, Honorable Frank Tumwebaze, the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, spoke out that dairy farming practices such as milking cows the same day after vaccination, unhealthy practice with potential milk contamination.
Some make those mistakes knowingly because they want to have their milk volumes not reducing, but others do it out of ignorance. So people are asking, why are cancer cases on the rise? Maybe it's because of some of the mistakes. So when DD is coming in to give you this equipment, it is all intended to improve the quality of the milk that you sell, and which milk gives many other products to the world.
According to the financial year 2021-2022 annual dairy performance report by the Dairy Development Authority of Uganda, dairy exports generated more than 382 billion shillings, exactly 103 million US dollars, as compared to the previous year. Currently, according to the State Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Bright Ramirama, there has been an increase to 320 million US dollars.
I think our estimate today, this year is 300 million US dollars, 320 million US dollars. That's not something small. And yet we are not putting in a lot of money. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the farming community, because it is all your effort.
In the 2022 Dairy Development Authority report, the country's export earnings increased by 11% despite the drought witnessed in small milk sheds. The authority attributed this growth to the increased production compliance to regional and international market standards. Samson Akankiza, the executive director, further says that to maintain this strength, government should allocate more funds towards the dairy sector.
Yeah, we have a challenge of budget allocation, which when we are given resources, we can be able to reach out to many farming households and help them in terms of trainings and clean milk production. But also we have other unfunded priorities like revamping the Entebbe Dairy Training School in Twe College to be able to have many technologists and technicians in the dairy sector.
Honorable Minister, DDA, you are aware, is one of the agencies that receive very little money. But the Dairy Development Authority has turned out the lives of so many farming communities.
According to the financial year 2021-2022 annual dairy performance report, once again by the Dairy Development Authority of Uganda, the national per capita consumption stood at 62 litres, far below the 200 litres per capita recommended by the World Health Organization. Despite the surge in export volumes, export destinations dropped from 18 countries in financial year 2020 to 16 countries after losing Qatar, UK, Czech Republic and Sri Lanka. Only 2 countries, that's the US, Somalia, were registered as the new market destinations.
Now let's look at the clashes that happened between KCCA and Kasita. Earlier this week, KCCA closed some of the shops in Kampala business area over and cleared the ground rent. Now the people of Kasita vow to default on taxes unless KCCA solves some of their challenges, which include impassable roads.
The Land and Fiscal Planning Act give room to ground rent and tenants are held under contractual obligation to observe the provision. Likewise, KCCA is obliged to enforce payment of such in the Central Business District. Earlier today, several shops in the vicinity of Nakasero were shut by Kampala's Capital City Authority due to demands to uncleared ground rent, sending the community to a standstill, adding extra block to numerous operational challenges.
Problem we get today, we find our shops closed because of ground rent. But the problem, they closed the building, and up the building there is the church. So they closed the building, the people were still in the church.
Among the people you're seeing here, most of them left their money inside the shops because they can't carry it with them in the night. Above all, they are worried about the safety of their money and their goods.
Kampala's operational bottlenecks transcend taxes to involve poor infrastructure such as roads, a major challenge limiting the flow of trade and business in the city. Despite KCCA's efforts to improve roads and market infrastructure, there still leaves a big gap with numerous unmotorable roads to resolve.
Uganda ng'eggwanga ebitundu 75 ku buli 100 ku musolo gw'eggwanga Uganda biva mu Kampala.
Uganda as a nation, the 75% of taxes paid is from Kampala. Yet the roads in the city are so poor. It is embarrassing how a trader who pays taxes and rent on time is the same person whose shop is closed by people who don't provide services like roads to transport their goods.
Kampala City Traders Association spokesperson Issa Sechito has cautioned KCCA to change its operational approach and respond to their reactions as soon as possible. Else, they would encourage traders to strike once more.
Soon, tujja kuyisa ekirangiriro abasuubuzi bonna bawithholding license yaabwe kuba twakikolako KCC.
Very soon we shall announce to all our traders to withhold their licenses like before until KCCA settles these issues and starts doing the right job than pestering people by closing their shops.
Despite the numerous challenges and perseverance, traders have evoked government for intervention.
Tusaba government eteekako engeri gye tusobola kulaba nti omuntu wa wansi asobole kwesasulira mu government.
We are requesting the government to create ways where traders can pay their taxes direct to KCCA than going through their landlords who aren't affected by such situations.
In spite of these challenges, it is crucial for the Ugandan government and relevant stakeholders to prioritize the development of the road networking, including investing in maintenance, expansion and improvement of the road infrastructure.
Now, the Regional Association of Investment Professionals, together with CFA Society East Africa, called upon government to draft laws to attract local investment of informal and regulated spaces without fear of loss. We have more.
In efforts to transform domestic involvement in financial markets, CFA Society East Africa, a regional association of investment professionals, has recalled East Africa's charge to improved capital markets, asserting Uganda as the most entrepreneurial country. According to the institute, Uganda recorded the highest youth entrepreneurs with 55.6% involved in new or established businesses, but unfortunately most of these businesses are not sustainable enough and many collapse within 5 years.
Compare Uganda and Kenya. Kenya receives roughly about $1 billion for the startup ecosystem only. Uganda receives roughly about 100 million or less for startups. And a lot of this money is brought in by venture capital funds that are based out of Kenya, investing in companies in Uganda. We have not as a country done a lot of work to attract our own capital that is Uganda specific. We are leveraging on capital either that is based in Mauritius, based in South Africa or Nairobi that is extending to Uganda. That's why we are getting a much smaller portion of what is total is global available in Africa.
George Otim, CFA board member, says that in addition to domestic involvement, there is need for businesses to adopt proper accounting, a factor that explains the success of particular listed companies on the exchange.
A business can thrive without accounting. Accounting is literally the language for business. Yeah. So however much you're going to have a well-performing business, but you don't have a proper set of accounts, eventually it's going to be hard for you to expand, right? And as you can see, so many of the businesses that have been able to list on our stock exchange, and that's where the investment professionals are involved. You notice the quality of the accounting is quite improved compared to a business that's not listed or an SME. And the reason for that is once you do that, then people have a higher level of reliance on the information you're presenting them.
Uganda's private sector has gained significant growth, registering innovations and enterprises across different sectors such as technology, insurance, manufacturing, among others, but with a latency to invest. According to Alan Ritabi, there is need to unlock local capital in order to transform capital markets, and stakeholder collaboration involving Bank of Uganda, Capital Markets Authority, URA, among other policymakers, is crucial.
5 markets in Africa: Nigeria, Ghana, Egypt, Tunisia, Kenya as well. They are attracting in excess of $1 billion just for startups, just to fund innovation and ideas. So one of the things that we need to think about is what are we doing wrong or what are we missing out in the way we organize. Rwanda has taken a leap. They have created a new law to attract and to support innovation for startups. DRC has also done the same. They have created a Startup Act to support and guide on how new businesses are created. Tunisia, Ivory Coast have also done startup laws to help nature ventures. These are some of the things that Uganda could borrow from to create an enabling environment to attract a lot of venture capital.
Many African countries such as Kenya, DRC and Rwanda continue setting up laws to protect emerging businesses, as a move that has been highly contentious in Uganda, with operations of venture capital firms and collective investment schemes. For instance, CFA confesses support to have government help emerging businesses and as well as encourage domestic investment.
Now let's cross over to the southwestern part of the region, and that is Kabale district. Now farmers in Kabale district are forging means to address climate change and financial mismanagement that has led to deaths. This was during the 19th annual general meeting where the farmers unions, which included Nyamamba Savings and Credit Cooperatives, came out and put forward their challenges. Information from Uganda Meteorological Authority highlights Western Uganda as one of the latest climate change prone areas, as 2021 recorded the third highest temperatures since 1950. In Southwest, landslides have countered hot seasons and heavy rains, leaving farmers in Kabale challenged by climate change, thus affecting crop production. According to Nyabyumba Farmers Circle General Manager Ambrose Kankwasa, defaulting on loan has as well become rampant among financial institutions as agriculture remain unviable.
most of the clients default. And actually, the defaulting has become rampant, not only at Nyabyumba Farmers Circle, but almost in all financial institutions. And the main reason we have the biggest problem is multiple borrowing. We have clients who borrow from here, they borrow from other circles, and at the end of the day you find that the client is getting incapacitations in paying these loans. Another thing is emergency issues that maybe hit our clients, and we believe that when such a condition comes to them, they find themselves unable to clear their loans. Another thing, I cannot say that the clients are unwilling to pay, but another thing is maybe lack of participation and teamwork within their families. We have like here group of family loans, but at the end of the day you find that a spouse is not willing to contribute to the colleague.
Nyabyumba Farmers Circle Board Chairperson William Yambi meanwhile further attributes the bad loans to misappropriation of loans to non-aligned investment. Debt restructuring has however been considered in the event of unavoidable calamities that affect production and loan repayment schedules.
Weather change, meaning climate changes, they reduce our production. Totally, they reduce our production. When we meet a heavy rain or when we meet a short rain season, we reduce our production totally, in potato production.
Chitumba Sub-County LC3 Chairperson David Muhereza says that natural calamities responding to continuous climate change such as drought and heavy rains have hindered the farmers' capacity to effectively clear accrued loans. The region has been recording rising temperatures like many others since 1950, with 0.59 degrees centigrade since 1990. David confirms that current seasons are unpredictable, leading to loss in production.
When we are talking about the seasonal changes, there is of a great impact of a negative one, especially towards what is anticipating to get after harvesting, because most of our farmers do farming through circle monies, and sometimes, for example, when we had planted beans anticipating to get some, let's say, 10 bags of beans, because of an expected rains that comes heavily and destroy the plantations, sometimes farmers have failed to return back the monies borrowed from the circles because of the effect of heavy rainfall, which comes in unexpected hours and time.
We have been having that challenge, and it has very many things that cause it. Well, first of all, sometimes you can have your money, you invest it in farming, but then after buying like crops, you find that those crops really are not standard, they are substandard. And when they are substandard, that shows that they are not going to producing good yields.
Edgar Mashemera, on behalf of Veriabna Turinda Mporera, the Chief Executive Officer, Philip Associated Advocates has cautioned circle leaders and members over financial discipline to avert non-performing loans and bad debts.
Basically, I've seen they have a challenge of defaulters. That's a very bad vice and brings down the circle, and it brings down the members themselves. Because if you default today, be rest assured that when you come back tomorrow, no one will be here to hear you.
In 2004, Nyabyumba Farmers Circle was instituted and registered 2 years later and currently boasts of 2,514 members. As African countries design initiatives to address the climate change impact on agriculture, trade and other sectors, concerted efforts are highly required to avert drastic damage on production. Now looking at the Khartoum crisis, as we all well know that South Sudan has been facing conflict for the past days. Now Ugandan opposition has given government an ultimatum of 5 days to evacuate their nationals, as this has caused insecurity in the region. We have more. On Saturday, Kenyan Airways issued a travel advisory indicating cancellation of flights in and out of Sudan following the insurgency between Sudan Armed Forces and the RSF militia that has sent the country into chaos. According to the Foreign Shadow Minister, Muwada Nkunyingi, they have received distress calls from many Ugandans stuck in Sudan without official communication from the government regarding evacuation as aviation is grounded.
Several Ugandan nationals exit Uganda for Sudan, either for education, tourism, some for medical care, and some were transiting through the Sudan airport. We are condemning government of Uganda and the foreign ministry for failure to issue timely travel advice. It's absurd that people boarded an airline here at Entebbe and landed into a Sudan conflict. That points at lack of timely travel advice for our nationals. It's absurd.
Legislators have given government a 5-day ultimatum to negotiate with Sudan on repatriating nationals to Entebbe.
It's sad that Ugandans there, they don't have a home where they came from. It's like they just went there. It's like they are Sudanese there. Uganda has no plan for their people. So we are not actually even requesting the government. We are telling the government, we need our people here. We are giving them 5 days. 5 days not for them to issue a statement. We want Ugandans here.
The deepening is bound to send regional movement to the country to a standstill as nations raise travel red flags to the country. Now with that said, we hope that there will be a ceasefire for the purposes of peace in Sudan. Let's go for a short commercial break. We shall be right back.
Smart 24, driving business.
If you want to find class in Nairobi, look no further.
Toast to luxury. Cheers to that, baby. We run this city, period. You're more Kenyan than all other Kenyans. Najaribu sana.
Who said I'm bringing drama? I brought the shade.
You brought it.
I'm here and I'm very comfortable. I am not leaving. It's not your party.
Luxury redefined at Seasan Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasan Hotel. So visit today at plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasan Hotels, luxury redefined.
Yogera neddembe wefunire MTN Freedom Bundles ezitaliko komo nyiga star emu star 2 oba kozesa my MTN app ofune bundle bweziti endala awamu tewali kitulema.
live it up and party and have cracking good fun. When it comes to edutainment, DSTV's #1.
Is everybody ready to go?
We've got the zaniest characters to transport you away. The party is cracking, so why not come play? You're gonna love it. We've got so many channels and a ton of new shows, like Disney and Nickelodeon, where anything goes. So live it up with DSTV. We bring the fun. You know we're #1.
Say goodbye to paperwork and travel costs. Now every MTN customer can register to invest in securities anytime and anywhere with Zabu in a few simple steps. Step 1. Dial *292#. Step 2. Select option 1. Register with Zabu. Step 3. Enter your full names. Step 4. Enter your national identification number. Step 5. Enter your national identification card number. In 24 hours, you will receive an SMS confirming your registration. Congratulations, you are now ready to invest. Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome back from that short commercial break with me, Masi Katsime. This is Business Edition. Now moving on, as corruption and financial mismanagement persist, currently Uganda exhibited an embezzlement relief fund for the Karamoja sub-region, which included iron sheets. Now the State Minister for Planning, Honorable Amos Rugorobe, was sentenced to reside at prison following a defied bail application on implication in the Karamoja embezzlement. Now, according to the police spokesperson Fred Enanga, although investigations are done, there are additional consultations that need to be handled. Let's have a look.
We continue to trace onwards and backwards to clear some of these lines of inquiry. And so you'll notice that there are some of the witnesses whom we interviewed from the beginning, whom we reinvited to appear at CID headquarters. Some of them have not appeared. For instance, last Friday, we summoned the Honorable Minister of State for Karamoja Affairs, Honorable Agnes Nandutu, to reappear at CID headquarters and to clarify on certain additional areas of inquiry, but she did not turn up.
Let's look at Kasese district now. The delayed construction of Nyakasanga Road has disrupted businesses in Kasese district. Now, Kasese municipality leaders and the Works Ministry has expressed dissatisfaction over the incompetent contractor that has slowed down the process of the construction. This morning, Kasese Municipality Leadership and Ministry of Works team inspected the Nyakasanga Road construction project earlier today. Deputy Town Clerk Zedekiah Kairi expressed dissatisfaction with the slow progress of the contractor, Techno 3 Company, warning that the delay could result in a return of funds borrowed from the Bank of Africa. Kairi highlighted that Kasese is a beneficiary of the USAID program and the contractor has not met the required percentage of completion, which is worrying.
Our biggest worry is that by the end of this financial year, as it is always, all money that have not been spent by local governments goes back to Kampala. And we wouldn't love that this money goes back. We are around 8% of the works executed and will be at around the 80%. And our desire is that the contractor doubles his effort.
According to Mr. Bataki Gabriel, the engineering supervisor for the ministry, he has rejected the proposal put forward by the contractor as they do not meet the required standard and are therefore deemed substandard.
So the specs they have been giving me are not meeting that spec. And that's the reason I've been rejecting them really. And these specs have been coming from India, and I've told them anything that for me to accept from India, they must come and assemble a sample on site. I don't want to approve and then what eventually comes is something different.
The traders who cooperate along with the road currently under construction have expressed significant concern regarding the delays in the project. These delays have had a significant impact on their businesses and they are eager to see the construction completed as soon as possible. Our children are suffering because we do not have anywhere to put our businesses, so we're in need of your help. In regards to the Nyakasanga Road project, the chairman LC3, Nyamwamba Pamiko Kasereka, expressed the belief that the road would be a great value of the surrounding area. However, he also voiced concerns about the impact of water channels that have been constructed by residents further up the road. He requested that the project team consider the potential negative effects on those living downstream and ensure that measures are put in place to prevent any adverse impact on the homes and properties.
This road is going to add value, more especially on economy of Nyamwamba division. If we see it is just a shortcut from Kasese town through Nyamwamba town to Fort Portal highway. So most of the roads and businesses conducted along that road are going to be boosted because people will start accessing that area. As more people access the area, more customers are attracted.
In regards to the construction of the road, Engineer Robert Kachiza, representing Techno 3 company, has requested that both politicians and municipal technical team exercise patience and give the project team ample time to complete the project to the best of their ability. He assured them that the team is working diligently to assure that the construction is completed as soon as possible.
The consultant gave us an assignment. Therefore, we as contractors are supposed to oblige to it. We have a written agreement with instructions.
Away from that, Uganda is still grappling to eradicate poverty levels, mostly among the youth. Now, the Trade Ministry, Standard Chartered Foundation, and a Kampala-based business consultancy firm came together with 832 million shillings to support youth enterprise through the Youth Work Program that has over time targeted graduates. We have more.
The Commissioner for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises at the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Dr. Joshua Mutambi, says that this program is there to support the youth participation in the small and medium enterprises. The Standard Chartered Foundation, in partnership with the Challenges Worldwide, a Kampala-based business development consultancy, launched the scale-up of the Youth to Work Phase 4 program worth 832 million.
This program is here to support the youth, to facilitate them to participate within the SMEs. And while they are in the SMEs, they are supposed to learn because they first of all get trained and they now practice their skills within the enterprises. But as they are there, definitely they are to learn how to do businesses, they are to support the enterprises, to be innovative. And when the enterprises grow, we know that they have to increase on their revenues.
The Youth to Work is a flagship employability project under Future Makers by Standard Chartered Foundation. It is the bank's global initiative to tackle inequality and promote greater economic inclusion for young people in local communities through the pillars of entrepreneurship, employability, and education. Sanjay Rugan, the executive officer Standard Chartered Bank, while addressing journalists, says that they continue to work in partnership with several NGOs and government to strengthen the capacity of young people and people with disabilities through employability skills so that they can improve their chances of getting entrepreneurship skills to empower them to start up their own businesses.
Our aspirations are to educate over 500,000 women, especially girls. Our aspiration is really to create so much more entrepreneurship, and we said we want to impact about 100,000 businesses. And then we also have a huge area of employability. So this is one of the other programs that we are leading. We have so many others. There's a gold program, all part of the Future Makers program. So fourth phase.
Makers program has already benefited me. It's not right now, I'm beyond how it's going to benefit me, but I've already gotten some chickens and just looking forward to bigger chickens.
Since 2019, the program has invested in 198 graduates that have provided business development support to 121 enterprises. Of these, 50% were females and 50% were males, and 8.5% were persons with disabilities. It has also bridged the gap between beneficiaries and ecosystem players. While unveiling the project on behalf of government, Dr. Joshua Mutambi commended investing additional $832 million in this youth program that will tackle financial inclusion.
And that's all what we want, because as government we are promoting inclusivity. We want all the enterprises to be formalized, to run business accounts, to know how to file returns formally as they continue growing in their businesses.
The Youth to Work program supports young people who have struggled to find employment with the skills they need to secure employment or pursue business ventures of their own.
Business Edition goes for a short commercial break. We shall be right back.
Smart 24, driving business.
Waliwo abagamba nti okuyiiya emizannyo si muzannyo. That is the question. Olina okwewaayo n'okukkiririza ennyo mu ky'oyiiya. Ate mwattu olina okubaayo n'omuntu akuyambako.
Bro, you got this, okay? You need to fix all the discrepancies in your account.
Hey, listen! You listen! All I want to do is be your friend.
Naye olowooza omuntu ng'ekyo kimuli mu musaayi ebyo bimulya. Anti aba yazaalibwa kola ekyo.
Scene 5, take 2.
Tega Pearl Magic Prime ne Pearl Magic Loco olabe emizannyo egyaffe egy'Abannayuganda ku DSTV ne GOTV Uganda kwokka.
Just believe that. I killed Joyce.
Shut up!
Sigala ng'oyungiddwako olabe engero zaffe ennyuvu n'obuzannyo obunyuma nga bikoleddwa mu ngeri eyaffe ey'ekinnansi.
Bring on the break with holiday entertainment for the whole family on DSTV. Maximize your experience by streaming on the DSTV app and upgrade your account using the My DSTV app. Bring on that local and international star power with brand new shows and sport. And of course, for the kids, bring on the fun. Visit DSTV.com to get connected. Bring on the break with DSTV.
Blue magic is my joy. Ono blue magic, wange. Ayo, nalaba kumabala, atukuza nonyirirawo kirako enyange. Tayisa bubi fabriki, kyonna kyekiri kiggwa lwa blue magic is my choice. Ono blue magic, wange. And the blue magic is my choice. Hey, ono blue magic, wange.
Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome back. This is Business Edition with me, Mercy Katsime. Now, talking of insurance, the Insurance Appeals Tribunal and the judiciary deliberated on key mechanisms of resolving insurance disputes. Now, since its inception, 700 million shillings has been recovered out of the 1.6 billion that's tied up in the disputes, 3 of 6. In October last year, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development launched the Insurance Appeals Tribunal, an independent body with the power to review decisions made by the Compliance Bureau of the Insurance Regulatory Authority. Amid its low insurance penetration, the industry has sustained gradual development hampered by low public confidence, and need for efficient grievance resolutions mechanisms remains. In case 1, UAP versus the African Queen Limited had the applicant ordered to pay 475,408,748.2 shillings within 1 month from the date of ruling. In the second case, ICEA Lion Insurance against Shark Media Limited had the appellant ordered to pay the claim presented by the respondent. Figures are not traced. Prasid Gyabagabi Bakuta versus Nick Insurance, so the appellant paid the respondent about 20 million shillings.
The total for the 6 cases is, the 6 appeals we have is 1.6. The ones that have been disposed of could be maybe 700 million, and we have the 3 appeals being 500 million. No, that's not 1.6. 700 million minus 1.6 is 900 million. Yeah, because insurance cases could be small, but they are really high value. Because we have one case which is 450 million, just one.
The chairperson of the tribunal informs that most of the cases go beyond fraud to poor contract interpretation, delayed settlement, which the industry players need to focus on to address the low penetration.
You need to ask, what have I signed up for? What are the limits within this policy? Because many times people can take out a policy, let me say motor policy. They know that if I get an accident, the insurance company will give me the money, will compensate me for my vehicle. But we have a provision in the policy of excess of 10%. So you realize that what will come out to you is 90% and not 100%. And this makes people very unhappy. Maybe when they were taking the policy, they were not explained too very well that actually the payout to you will be 90% and not 100%.
Speaking during the judicial capacity building training, High Court Judge Justice Musa Sekana calls upon the tribunal to uplift itself and take up the sector cases appealed in other courts.
Now that you are in existence, because sometimes I think disputes may come to High Court, or some now, usually they normally go to commercial court. But since you are established, let them send away all those. And they will send them to you. I don't know if they have. The head should sit and say, all these insurance disputes, go to the tribunal. And that's what we did for employment. Whenever people, we said, no. Every employment dispute, the tribunal is in place. We sorted all of them and took them there. And no, High Court has a limited jurisdiction, High Court has a limited jurisdiction. But we believe now you have been set up for that purpose. Either they stop recording any insurance dispute, or they should only hear new ones. All the new ones should be sent, and they clear the old ones. Or if the old ones have not yet been heard and you don't have cases, I don't know whether you have cases, or they should send some back and then you deal with them.
Endeavor to achieve efficiency in your work by doing everything that you are supposed to do in a timely and right manner. The law, for example, prescribes timelines for filing of appeals and for the hearing and disposal of those appeals. I urge you to ensure that you deliver your decisions within the prescribed 90 days. But this should be after observing and following all the necessary steps. After efficiency, there is the issue of effectiveness of your work and decisions, which is also critical. The quality of your work as a tribunal has a bearing on effectiveness.
He further adds that they need to observe the clauses carefully because there are appeal mechanisms in the tribunal that allow the Insurance Regulatory Authority, the sector regulator, to sue or be sued, as well as the Attorney General, while ensuring regulatory and supervisory decisions are made within the law, are consistent and well reasoned.
Now, being housed under IRA, in the eyes of the public, it could be that you are now compromised. What do you expect from them? They are in the same building. So those are the challenges that we as judiciary sometimes have, because sometimes we are housed in rented premises. Now, what happens when our landlord comes to court and says, what did he expect? Is the landlord. So, and those are challenges we have them in trade, because that alone may drive away the public, thinking, I don't waste your time with it because you're not going to get anything.
The long-awaited Insurance Appeals Tribunal is an establishment provided under Section 137 of the Insurance Act of 2017. Before this act, all disputes were settled by the Minister of Finance. Last but not least, let's look at the Uganda Wildlife Authority. Uganda Wildlife Authority is taking steps to promote sustainable tourism through wildlife conservation. Now, in efforts to raise awareness about the benefits of wildlife protection, the authority is leveraging data for better understanding attitudes and behavior of tourists towards a sustainable tourism sector. Let's have a look.
For the past 27 years, Uganda Wildlife Authority has been on a course to conserving and sustaining the country's wildlife, a crucial aspect to the success of domestic tourism. According to data from the authority, tourism revenue has been steadily rising over the past 5 years. In 2022, Uganda Wildlife Authority generated a total of $10 million in revenue, with 30% of this coming from entrance fees. Such has been critical to funding conservation efforts and supporting community growth.
2021, we got 23,000. That is a fall from 87,000 down to 23,000. Now we have again, last year we have reached 58,000. And I think shortly we should be, I think this financial year we should be able to hit or even surpass the one before Corona period. And it is our key income earner. So it is our responsibility with you everywhere to talk about the medley of wonders as you see from here.
As Uganda remains one of the leading VFR destinations in the region, over 80% of tourists exhibit perceptions pointing out the essence of wildlife conservation towards sustainable tourism. The growing awareness among visitors expresses certainty of long-term viability of the tourism industry, provided sustainability is upheld.
They are unique in its own way. I mean, with all the features, the animals and the plants in Queen Elizabeth National Park, the flamingos stand out in their own way. You know, these are seemingly the white birds, but somehow they change their plumage into pink, you know, and with so many reasons, scientific reasons that don't actually have conclusive reason to that, you know. That gives a very unique feature and angle for the park itself.
Parks like Queen Elizabeth, the most popular savanna park in Uganda, remained one of the most visited parks according to data from the previous performance report. The park, known for its diverse and favorable environment for both flora and fauna, retains an attractive attribute as a destination for visitors, offering a range of activities such as game drives, boat safaris, among others.
A biodiversity study revealed rich ecosystem within Queen. First of all, Queen ecosystem is diverse. We have the swampy areas, we have the water bodies, we have the open savanna, we have the tropical rainforest, which is Maramagambo forest, and we have also the hilly areas where we have the explosive craters. That has made the area very, very rich. Queen is boasts with the 95 species of mammals that are found here. In Kidepo boasts with about 86. But Queen boasts with the 95 species.
Queen Elizabeth National Game Park is the second largest national park in Uganda, while as ministry and other supporting associations are in a bid to boost domestic tourism. They're looking at calling more local tourists to come and engage and participate in everything available in this place.
Well, that brings us to the end of Business Edition with me, Mercy Katsime. See you next time, same place, same time. Have a good evening.